am a 49-year-old woman, and he is my 24-year-old nephew. I presented him with an irresistible offer. As I sat by the washing machine, observing the ever-growing mountain of laundry as if it were multiplying with each passing second, an unusual sense of tranquility enveloped me. It was one of those days when everything seemed bland. Routine, nearly devoid of vitality. The gentle murmur of the machine enveloped the space, and my mind drifted without direction. As I extended my hand toward another stack of clothes, my nephew entered the room, shattering the silence. He had transformed significantly in recent times. The little boy I once knew has vanished, replaced by someone taller, more self-assured, with an undeniable presence. I playfully teased without giving it much thought. "Could you assist me with this, please? It would be beneficial for you to familiarize yourself with some of these tasks." What started as a light-hearted idea took an unexpected turn when his gaze locked onto mine, leaving me momentarily stunned. The intensity of his gaze held a power that made my heart skip a beat. I tried to brush it off, convincing myself it was insignificant, yet as we lingered in that moment, the tension surrounding us grew impossible to ignore. He shrugged nonchalantly, moving in a bit closer. "Of course," he answered, his tone unwavering and composed, sending an unforeseen chill along my spine. I swiftly averted my gaze, wishing he wouldn't catch the flush creeping into my cheeks. It was merely laundry, so why did my heart race? We collaborated closely, with him passing me the clothes while I loaded them into the machine. It was a straightforward, monotonous task, yet each time our hands touched, a tiny spark of energy appeared to flow between us. Initially, I believed it was merely a figment of my imagination, yet before long, his touch began to linger just a bit longer. His movements brought him nearer to me. I attempted to concentrate on the laundry, seeking to divert my mind from the increasing awareness of his presence. Yet, the warmth of his body beside mine was undeniable, and my mind continually wandered to the delicate tension that lingered in the air between us. Time appeared to elongate infinitely, and the atmosphere of the room grew increasingly warm with every fleeting second. The heat from the washing machine, or our closeness, might have contributed. Yet I couldn't dispel the sensation that the air was becoming denser. My mouth was parched, and I averted my gaze, fearful of what might linger in his eyes, or what he could uncover in mine. Then, without warning, his hand grazed mine once more. This time, it was intentional. I stood still, my eyes locking onto his, and the intensity in his gaze was undeniable. My heart raced in my chest as he approached, the warmth of his body enveloping me. I realized I ought to step back, create some space between us, yet I found myself unable to do so. We lingered in quietude, the unsaid emotions between us amplifying with every fleeting moment. His hand extended once more, this time encircling mine with a purpose that sent a shiver coursing through me. My breath caught, and I sensed my determination falter. This was misguided, utterly misguided. Yet I found myself unable to turn my gaze elsewhere. As he approached, all else began to blur into the background. The space, the wash area, the constant drone of the appliance, everything vanished, leaving just the two of us. His face hovered near mine, and I could sense his breath, warm and inviting. Time appeared to freeze, leaving me in a haze of confusion. As his lips grazed mine, there was a certain hesitance, as if he were offering me a moment to pull away. However, I did not. Instead, I surrendered to the kiss, my hands instinctively reaching out to draw him nearer. The kiss intensified, and all the tension we had been sidestepping surged into that instant. It was mesmerizing, the way his lips danced against mine, the way his hands navigated my skin with such tenderness. If you've made it this far in the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below once you've finished watching. Be sure to subscribe to Unadulterated Adultery Confessions for more content like this. Your encouragement is truly invaluable to us. I appreciate your presence. Every touch sent a thrill through me, and I realized we had crossed a boundary that could never be undone. In that moment, I felt indifferent. All I desired was him, and it appeared he shared the same sentiment. As we finally separated, our breaths were shallow, our foreheads still touching. I might have been expected to feel guilt, perhaps even shame, yet all that surged within me was an insatiable urge to press on. His hands glided down my arms, his touch igniting a fire through the delicate fabric of my attire. My mind urged me to halt, to reflect on our actions, yet my body stubbornly ignored it. The attraction between us was irresistible. The atmosphere thickened as he drew closer once more, his lips seeking mine with an intensified fervor this time. We stumbled backward, pressing against the washing machine, and I gasped softly as his hands explored my body. The machine's sound served as a subtle backdrop to the moment's intensity. Consequences, whether right or wrong, bring about feelings of guilt. Nothing held significance any longer. As the intensity between us grew, I yielded entirely. Each touch, each kiss, each moment was a liberation of all we had been restraining. It was exhilarating, intense, and unlike anything I had ever encountered. I understood that this was not meant to endure indefinitely. Eventually, that reality would catch up with us. The washing machine's cycle has concluded, and the stillness carried the burden of what we separated, gasping for air, our hearts pounding. The space seemed to shrink, the air heavy with unspoken words between us. I looked at him, uncertain of how to respond. His gaze held the same fervor as it had before, and before I could utter a word, he took my hand. His hold was soft yet resolute, and his tone remained calm as he assured, "We'll figure this out." At that moment, I realized we had crossed a threshold, yet there was no turning back. No matter what lay ahead, we would confront it side by side. The future loomed with ambiguity, yet the bond we shared was unmistakable. As we stood there side by side, I found myself pondering what the next chapter of our tale would reveal. The uncertainty was chilling, yet it also stirred within me a peculiar sense of eagerness. No matter what came next, I was certain we would confront it side by side. Kindly share with me. Am I mistaken for having these feelings about my 24-year-old nephew? Are my emotions out of line? Is the bond we share pushing boundaries? Your candid insights and perspectives would be invaluable to me as I navigate the process of making a more informed decision before the situation becomes even more intricate. I look forward to exploring your insights in the comment section. Thank you very much.